Hi everyone. This video presents file system implementation and mass storage structure. Okay, the subject name is operating systems. First is about file system structure. Okay, uh, this provide the bulk of secondary storage on which a file system is maintained. Some characteristics are available for file system structure. A disk can be rewritten in place. Okay, it is possible to read a block from the disk, modify the block, and write it back into the same place. Okay, a disk can access directly on any given block of information it contains. Uh, Thus, it is simple to access any file either sequentially or randomly, and switching from one file to another file. Okay, this is the characteristics of file system structure. Next, design problems of file system. A file system process two quite different design problems, such as defining how the file system should look to the user. Next one is creating algorithms and data structures to map the logical file system onto the physical secondary storage devices. Okay, this is the design problems for file system structure. Next, layered file system. Okay, it is nothing but the file systems itself is generally composed of many different levels. Each level in the design uses the features of lower levels to create new features for use by higher levels. Okay, it is called as layered file systems. Next, see about input and output control. The lowest level, the input and output control consists of device, drives, and interrupts handlers to transfer information between the main memory and the disk system. It is called as input and output control. Okay. Next one is basic file systems. The basic file system needs only to issue generic commands to the appropriate device drive to read and write physical blocks on the disk. Okay, it is called as basic file systems. Next is the about file organization module. The file organization module knows about files and their logical blocks as well as physical blocks. Okay, by knowing the type of file allocations used and the location of the file, the file organization module can translate logical block address to the physical block addresses for the basic file system to transfer. It is called as file organization module. Okay. Next is see about logical file system. Okay. Finally, the logical file system manages metadata informations. Metadata include all of the file system structure except the actual data. Okay, the logical file system manages the directory structure to provide the file organization module with the information the latter needs, given a symbolic file name. Okay, so this concept is a logical file system. Next is see about file control block. Okay, file control block contains the information about the file, including the ownership, permissions, and locations of the file contents. Okay, it is called as the file control block. Okay, these are all the basic concept of file system structures. Okay, layered file system. What is meant by input and output control, basic file systems, a file organization module, what is in by logical file system, what is file control system. Okay. Next is the about file system implementations. Okay. File system implementations are done by the following concept on disk structure and in memory structure. Okay. Uh, First, what is the structure overview on disk structure? Okay. On disk means on disk is the file system may contain information about how to boot an operating system stored there, and the total number of blocks, the number and the locations of free blocks, the directory structure, individual files. Okay, so these informations are contained in on disk. Okay, So next, see about on-disk structure. Okay, the on-disk structure include boot control block, contain information needed by the system to boot an operating system from the volume. First block of a volume, that is called as volume control block. It contains volume details such as the number of blocks in the partition, size of the blocks, free block count, and free block pointers, and free FCB count and FCB pointers. Okay, so these are all the on disk structures. Next, directory structure used to organize the files. Okay, next, what is in the FCB? It contains the details about the file, including file permissions, ownership, file size, and file locations of the data blocks. Okay, this is the FCB. Okay, so what are the on disk structure means? Boot control block. Next one is volume control block. Next one is directory structure. Next one is FCB. Okay, these are all the on disk structures. Okay, and next, how to create the file. Okay, file creations. Uh, uh, in previously about what is meant by in memory. In memory information is used for both file system management and performance improvement via coaching. Okay, so that is in memory. What are the in-memory structures? The structures, in-memory structures may include the ones described below: in-memory mount table, in-memory directory structure, system-wide open file table, pre-process open file table. These are all the in-memory structures. Okay. So next, how to create the file? To create a new file means an application program calls the logical file system. Okay. The logical file system knows the format of the directory structures, allocates a new FCB. Okay, reads the appropriate directory into the memory. Okay, updates it with the new file name and FCB, and writes it back to the disk. Okay, so next is see about file input and output operations, open and read. Okay, now that a file has been created, it can be used for input and output file. First through it must be opened. The open file call passes a file name to the file system. Search for the given file name in the directory structure. Okay, this is the file input and output operations. That means open and read file. Okay. Once the file is found, the FCB is copied into system-wide open file table in memory. Okay, this is the file input and output operations. Thank you.